24 perfect players, all of them centre forwards, one in each of the Vanarama National League teams. Locked there for 23 years. How high will the players climb? Will some of them still be in the Vanarama National League after 23 years? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Attributes are frozen as well. So we're back. It's this experiment again. The 24 perfect potential players, but rejigged into perfect players. Here we go. All of them have got 20s for everything. Attributes are frozen. And that's all there is to it. One thing we did do, as per the comments in the previous video of this nature, making them the second nationality for a lot of these teams. A lot of these players, sorry. The first nationality is now different for every single player, whereas English is the second nationality for work permit reasons only. But will they change allegiance and declare for England, or will they actually play for the nations that they're available to play for? As like the primary nation. We will see. That's another little tidbit for the story. In terms of the season preview, not a lot has changed because they've all got a perfect player. They've all got a perfect player. What is actually interesting is there's going to be players that go down that are going to have to come back up. How far do we jump through at the first interval? Do we go through just the 1 year? Yeah, we do. We're going to go through 1 year. See how it's getting on. Well then, here we go. We have Gateshead, who have won their Vanarama National League, with Eastleigh finishing in 7th. Getting promoted via the playoffs, beating Notts County in the final. 3 teams on 77 points. Not a lot between 3rd and 7th, it has to be said. Actually, to be honest, the same gap between 2nd and 3rd was the gap between 3rd and 8th. So Chesterfield can feel a little bit aggrieved. Torquay finishing bottom on 36 points. As you can see here, the top goal scorers, well, the assists, goals, everyone it's just all the forwards. Player of the matches, Southend forward with 23 player of the matches, 50 goals. Let's look at the top goal scorers charts. 50 and 40. Any player that is not one of these forwards. Nope. And the lowest was 34 goals for York forward. Average rating, once again, same. Assists. Regan Linney with 13 assists. Now, of course, because there were so many goals flying in, wonder what it's saying for in actual terms of the goals scored. No team scored over 100 goals, which is surprising. Notts County lost on the final day of the season and had a superior goal difference. No, they didn't. They lost to Eastleigh in the playoffs because this form goes by for 5 recent games and the playoffs count as league games for some reason. There's no drama there. No drama whatsoever. How did they do the final game of the season? Beat York. Fine. So they did win the final game of the season. All right then. Gateshead and Eastleigh. Up you come, boys. Down you go to Wellston, Bournemouth, Maidenhead and Torquay. That would be interesting to see if those teams come straight back up. I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump through, we're going to be doing smaller increments as we get later on because I'm going to go through, right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go through 5 years because smaller jumped increments will be later on when we're going to get into the Premier League and stuff and it's a little bit more tense. We're going to go through 5 years now and get quite a chunk of these teams out of the Vanarama National League. Here we go, 5 years into the future and looking over the league, we've got Solihull Moors and York who've just gone up. Maidstone forward with 52 goals, runner up. Of course, there are going to be more players. Look at this. Look at the disparity. All these players down here on 14 goals. The top goal scorers, the forwards 32, all the way up to 52. Plenty of teams getting out of the Vanarama National League and moving up into League 2. We are seeing Bromley have gone up, Southend have gone up. And how many teams are actually in the league that were in the Vanarama National? I think a lot of teams have probably gone up because, as you can see here, you've got Eastleigh, Notts County, Woking, Oldham, Bromley. They've all gone up at the first time of asking. They've come up out of the Vanarama National League and they've gone straight bloody up. League 1. Chesterfield beating Oldham in the final of the playoffs. Woking getting promoted. Gateshead are there. 12 points deducted from Birmingham for going to administration, which caused their relegation. 46 points they'd have been on. They would have been safe. Portsmouth have survived via administration. Notts County up in the Championship and Eastleigh. Get up there. Luton getting relegated. Eastleigh almost getting relegated. Notts County forward, 38 goals. Yeovil forward. Yeovil are up there. Eastleigh forward. So the top 3 goal scorers were all there. Wrexham are up there as well. As you can see, Wrexham forwards getting the assists. So Wrexham finished 6th. The highest position finished by any team. You've got Notts County in 16th. Yeovil in 18th. Eastleigh in 21st. Any advance on those 4? Not that I can see. Has anyone made it to the Premier League yet? Have they? No one there at the moment. No one's come back down. No. No one's there at the minute. But that's fine. We're only 5 years in. We're going to jump another 5 years. and we're going to see who's there. But before we do that, internationally, yes, please, they've all declared for England. That's annoying, isn't it? Every single one of them is declared for England. Only 2 of them are in the England squad. Eastleigh forward has got 31 caps, 12 goals. Where's he been playing? Number 10, surely. Looking at this, every single player, not every single player, Altrincham forward, who's still in the Vanarama National League, what's he been doing? 227 in 240 games. Pathetic. You're very hard done by if you're still in the Vanarama National League at this point. Another 5 years, I think most of them will be out. They've got to be. Surely. But yeah, quickly, just going to have a quick look at the Vanarama National League North top goal scorer. So, all the teams going down into the south. Wellston have been down there twice. Look at that, 60 for Maidenhead forward. Currently just in the Vanarama National League. There you go, 272 and 237. Call him up. No youth caps. Call him up for Romania. So we're nearly there. We've nearly penetrated the Premier League, and I'm sure in 5 years' time we will have done so. And the Vanarama National League will look very differently because most teams should have got out of there. There's very few that will still be in it, unless teams have fallen back in. But once they get into League 2, I think they're just going to keep going up the leagues to League 1 and the Championship. So another 5 years. Torquay getting out of the Vanarama National League. Wellston still there. Altrincham promoted. There's still a few. Dagenham and Wellston. Oh, so the only 2. Everyone else has been relegated from upper leagues. And who's going up this season? We've got Cambridge, Sheffield Wednesday, Barnet and Forest Green. No one from the Vanarama National. Boreham Wood are there. Dorking in 5th. Barnet have gone up. Barnet have gone up. Barnet were in the Vanarama National League because there he is. Barnet forward. Runner-up in League 2 Golden Boot. 411 and 413 for the old Barney forward, the BF. Looking at League 1 then, Aldershot have gone up as not champions, as playoff winners. Bromley getting automatic promotion, missing out on the title by a singular point. Notts County winning the league. They both tried to throw it away towards the end, didn't they? Aldershot, 5 wins on the spin. No one getting relegated, who was in the Vanarama National. Looking up through the league, we've got Maidstone, we've got Aldershot, Bromley and Notts County. So 4 teams going up. As you can see here, past winners, it's a who's who. Notts County have won it before. Gateshead, Eastleigh. It's not really a who's who, is it? It's 3 teams. Slightly over-exaggerating here. But in terms of the Sky Bet Bloody Championship, who's won it? Yeovil. Yeovil have 18 assists for Yeovil forward, 7.76, not even getting the top 3 in terms of goals scored. He did get 33 though. Fulham and Brentford also went up, Brentford winning the playoffs, Chesterfield missing out in the playoffs. We had Eastleigh in 10th, Oldham in 11th, Gateshead in 12th, a little trifecta of Vanarama National League teams there. Southend, Solihull, Moors down in 16th and 17th. York unfortunately have been relegated, but that's not the whole story. Because, I don't know about you, has anyone seen Wrexham? Because I don't think I have. Are they in the Premier League? They've got to be. And there they are, 13th. Woking in 9th. And there's the 2 teams, Bournemouth, Villa and Burnley coming down. Woking forward, 29 goals, 13 and 17 for England. They've been in the Premier League for 3 years. How long have Wrexham been in there? Oh, they were up, came up via the playoffs, then got relegated the following season, and then they came back up, automatically finishing in 2nd place, and this season finishing in 13th. Okay. We've started. We've got 2 teams in the Premier League. Is that enough just to keep them all there? And we've got teams coming up. Yeovil are coming up. That's going to be 3. We've got Chesterfield knocking on the door. Eastleigh, Oldham, Gateshead. A couple of results going their way, and they're in the mix. We've got plenty of teams in League 1 chomping at the bit. 3 coming up this season. It could all be happening. We could be overtaking the Premier League with 7, 8, 9 teams soon. And Sean Dyche is in charge of England. Shawnee Dyche. That was a terrible impression. That wasn't even an impression. Can't prove it was. Sean Dyche in charge of England. If we look at their previous managers, we have got, once again, no Ralph. Does he even exist anymore? Has Football Manager removed Ralph from the game? No, he's the manager of Estonia. First Ralph watch we've had in a while. He was Bristol City manager for a bit and Aston Villa. Now he's the Estonia manager. Sean Dyche in charge of England. And who is playing for England? The Yeovil forward, the Gateshead forward and the Bromley forward are all currently in the England squad. We look at the shortlist. International caps, we've got 36 for Chesterfield forward, 35 goals in 36 caps. Eastleigh forward's got 14 in 34. Barely played since he's obviously had a spell at the number 10. 31 in 31 for Notts County forward. 20 in 15 for Gateshead forward. He's doing absolutely phenomenally well. A lot of players not actually getting a look in. unfortunately, which is a bit disappointing, really. But anyway, let's jump forward through. We're at that point now, gang, where we're in the experiment where we're going to be jumping through seasonally because there's just a lot going on. We've jumped through the start bit and we're now going to be doing smaller increments because the drama's there. Is it? I don't know. We'll see. 2034, here we come. Okay, so the Premier League. Arsenal are the current champions and Yeovil have got relegated. Wrexham in 12th, Woking in 13th. And that's it. That's the only teams that we've got there. So Woking forward getting the Golden Boot once again. And in terms of Southend have won the playoffs in the Championship. Solihull Moors and Notts County just missing out, obviously getting there. We've got Oldham in 9th. Bromley in 11th, Chesterfield, Eastleigh, Aldershot, Gateshead. No Vanarama National League team got relegated from the Championship. Reading, Barnsley and Middlesbrough are down there. And coming up is Halifax, Maidstone and Barnet. 3 Vanarama National League teams. Maidenhead have just missed out. Unfortunate for them. Scunthorpe and York are both in there. League 2, Altrincham, Dorking, Boreham Wood. 3 teams getting out of that league. The Vanarama National League teams. Bristol Rovers have beaten Dagenham and Redbridge. Dagenham have got stuck. Are they the only team? Wellston and Dagenham and Redbridge are the only teams. And Wellston have gone up. Dagenham forward. Scoring nearly a goal a game. He's never got him out of the Vanarama National League. Next season, Daggers. And they've done it. Dagenham and Redbridge have gone up as champions in 2035. So it took 13 years. It was going to take a minimum of 12 years because there's 24 teams. And they all had to jump through the leagues at 2 at a time. 2 by 2. Noah's Ark style. In terms of League 2 then, Torquay and Wellston have gone straight up. Who else? Not too sure. We're going to move through the leagues with a bit of pace now. York, Altrincham, both going up from League 1. Burton, Swansea, Portsmouth and Cambridge. I don't think any of them were in the Vanarama National League, were they? No. They're in the Championship. Oldham versus Solihull Moors. So Oldham versus Solihull Moors is yet to happen. We've got Yeovil going up as champions. They're back in the Premier League. The first time of asking after getting relegated. They've gone up as champions. They are becoming the new Yeovil, the Yo-Yo Club. I tried. So Oldham and Solihull Moors are going to... One of them's going to go up. So another team's going to be in the Premier League. Leicester have gone back up. And Yeovil, Yo-Yo-Bill, have gone up because they've come back down, but they've gone straight back up in a Yo-Yo style. It's very hard to say Yo-Yo. Blackburn, Sunderland and Stoke getting relegated. So we are seeing a lot of big name casualties of teams falling further away from the Premier League because there's just not enough spaces. Eastleigh, Championship, mid-table, once again. Barnet are there. Maidstone, Bromley, Chesterfield, Aldershot, Halifax, Notts County just missing out. Actually getting into the playoffs, but missing out. Oldham versus Solihull Moors is, well, whoever's going to go up will be a Vanarama National League team. In terms of the Premier League, no one's gone down. We've got Wrexham, we've got Southend and Woking. All 3 of them sat together between 9th and 11th, which is brilliant to see, really. Europa League football for Leeds and Southampton, not quite managing to penetrate up the leagues further. Tottenham are sort of still in the mix. Newcastle have got themselves in there. Chelsea and Man United are the 2 that have really sort of fallen away, which is disappointing, to be honest. But we've got 10 years left of this experiment till 2045. We have simulated a bit further just to see who manages to survive once the players go. But at this point, we're going to have a quick look at the cup competitions. Has anyone managed to snaffle a cup? The Carabao Cup has had no takers, not even a runner-up. And the FA Cup, same, although Watford have won 2. Insane. Let's go to 2036 then. So no one's gone down. League 2. Dagenham have come up out of League 2 as well. I don't know how many teams in League 2 are still in the Vanarama National League at the start. I think they've all got through as well. We're up in League 1. Torquay and Maidenhead both have made it into the Championship, and plenty of the teams in there have. Wellston, unfortunately, have gone down to League 2. Not ideal. There's the Championship. Solihull Moors have just got relegated from the Championship. So not only are we looking at, there's so much to unpack in the Championship. Firstly, I'm looking for either Oldham or Solihull Moors to see who went up, and we see Solihull Moors have been relegated. Solihull Moors have gone down. The heartbreak. Missing out in the playoffs from getting Premier League football. They're now going to be playing League 1 football just 12 months later. Halifax have just missed out on relegation. Just missed out. Just survived. Make it sound like Halifax were attempting to get relegated. They, of course, were not. Unless they were, match fixing style, like Juventus, allegedly. Do you have to say allegedly? You got found guilty. Allegedly. Barnet is still there. Bromley, Altrincham, York, Chesterfield, Notts County, Maidstone, Eastleigh are in the final against Gateshead. So once again, we are going to get... No, sorry. Eastleigh have been promoted. They've beaten Maidstone. Gateshead have been promoted as well. That's 2 more teams going into the Premier League. And the Premier League, Chelsea have just won it. We've got Woking getting Europa League football. Come on, Woking lads. Wrexham in 11th. Yeovil in 10th. Not yo-yoing anymore. I'm not making that joke again because it's so hard to say. The wordplay. Oldham, just like Solihull Moors, are also being relegated this season. This time they're going back to the Championship. Southend just survived by 2 points ahead of Crystal Palace. The Wrexham forward still never been capped by England. Not been capped by England. Reputation of 3.5 stars. 415 and 506. I mean, yeah, just 20 plus goals. Just a 3.5-star reputation. Score 5 goals in the Premier League as a striker and you get a decent reputation. I don't know what's going on there. In terms of caps, Eastleigh forward is back in the reckoning. This time he's now got 41 and 58. So someone's put 50p in Eastleigh forward. Paulo Fonseca is in charge. Sean Dyche resigned. 3 World Cups. So 2026 and 2034. 2 Euros, 28 and 32. So the players, of course, I mean, they've got perfect forwards. They really, of course, they're going to do well. So all we're doing now is we're going to sit around the Championship and Premier League just because there's so much to get through and there's only a couple of teams falling back and coming back through. So we'll see them when we see them. Apologies. But Oldham are back at the first time of asking. And what a tight league that was. 79 points for first, second and third, right? Crystal Palace missing out on automatic promotion and the Championship on goal difference, which is very unfortunate indeed. 79 points is a pitiful total for a Championship winning side because Halifax in 10th were 8 points behind. 8 points was the difference between 10th and first. Let that sink in for a second, ladies and gentlemen. And in terms of the final league games of the season, well, Burnley lost, Palace drew, Oldham come from behind and won the bloody league. You can tell how surprised I am with how high pitched I'm getting. Again, it's all happening. So here we go, we're back in the Premier League then, and Woking getting Champions League football, finishing 5th. He's not even in the top goal scorers charts. Who else have we got in the Premier League? Right, Wrexham and Yeovil, Southend, Eastleigh and Gateshead both went down. That's sad to see, isn't it? That's very sad to see. But Woking in the Europa League semi-final first leg lost to Hertha Berlin, but they won 4-0 with a hat-trick from Woking forward, and they lost 2-1 to Newcastle in the final. Nearly European success. So here we go, rattling through, looking at the Championship, and Gateshead and Eastleigh are back in the Premier League. Come on, lads. Notts County losing in the final of the playoffs to West Ham, getting their Wembley day out. But unfortunately, it was West Ham that came away the victors. But look at this. Only West Ham in the promotion sort of running were in the Premier League. Everyone else is in the Vanarama National League, and the entire Championship is Premier League and Vanarama National League teams from the start of the save game. And going into the Premier League, Woking have missed out by 3 points. Please don't tell me they lost on the final day of the season. Arsenal won. Woking, they beat Oldham. Imagine if they'd have lost. I mean, the goal difference, so yeah, whatever. But, ooh. Woking finishing second, though. We've got Man City down in 8th. Yeovil in 9th. Wrexham, Oldham, 11th and 12th. Southend in 14th. No one went down. No one went down. How did you do in the Champions League then, Woking? You got to the knockouts and they lost to bloody Newcastle. Newcastle thwarting them in Europe for 2 seasons in a row. Oh, I hope Woking get their revenge in a final somewhere. We've got 7 years to see it. Newcastle finished 16th there. Graham Potter's in charge. It's all going on. Go to 2039. So the Championship, we've got Notts County as champions, Chesterfield going up as automatic promotion. Fortunately, Brighton took the playoffs. Only Championship teams getting relegated there. No one else from the Vanarama National League has gone out of the Championship. Into the Premier League, we've got Yeovil finishing 4th. Woking, unfortunately, only getting Europa League football, finishing in 6th, which means we know they definitely did not win the Champions League. Not that we expected them to, but would have been nice. Wrexham down in 9th. Newcastle making a fight of it, coming back up into 8th. Oldham and Gateshead managing to be comfortably safe. Unfortunately, Eastleigh have been relegated. Sad times. On we go then. And the Championship was won by West Ham. Solihull Moors going up automatically, and Halifax winning the playoffs against Eastleigh. Unfortunate for Eastleigh. Europa League football for Maidstone. 10th in the Championship. Well, what the fucking hell happened with Maidstone? What have they won? They've won the FA Cup against Arsenal. A hat-trick for Maidstone forward after extra time. Please tell me we can see the highlights. We bloody can't. I'm fuming. Come on, Maidstone. European football for Championship Maidstone. Still no caps. I'm livid that none of these players have gone playing for the other nations. That's the one thing. My fault. I should have tweaked something else. I don't know what I could have done. Declared them for nation or something. Or maybe had them when I made them, put an international cap to them, maybe. That might have been an idea. It's always good to think of these things after the fact, isn't it, when you're recording 40 minutes in. Maidstone have won the FA Cup from the Championship after extra time with a magnificent hat-trick from the forward. You love to see it. And the Premier League. No winners from the Premier League still yet, but Woking and Yeovil both getting Champions League football. Wrexham getting Conference League football. Wrexham could go and bloody win that. Come on, Wrexham. Come on, Wrexham. Notts County got relegated. Right, we're going. 2041. So we are here. Bromley have gone up. Eastleigh have gone up. Maidstone, where are they? Let's have a look at Maidstone then. Their schedule. Europa League, round of 16. Quarter-final. They got knocked out in the semi-final. 5-2 to Chelsea. Chelsea, who finished third in the Premier Division. They won the Premier Division the other season, didn't they? We saw. Brentford have also gone up. No, they haven't. Sorry, Brentford v Brighton in the playoffs. We don't care. Well, there we go, gang. We've done it. We've done it. Woking have done it. That's all I've got to say. Woking have done it. They are the champions on 76 points, which is abnormally low. Goal difference by 1 goal. Both teams won 3-2 on the final day. We've got to go back. Woking drew against Oldham. Arsenal drew against Newcastle. Woking won 2-0. Where was it won? Woking beating Leeds 4-0. Arsenal winning 3-1. That might have been it. 4th of May. The big swing. Woking have won the league. Wrexham getting Europa League football, finishing in 5th. Where is the coefficient spot? Conference League football for Leeds, obviously won the Carabao Cup. Chesterfield and Solihull Moors have both been relegated, which is actually quite heartbreaking. We've got quite a few teams down here, though, doing quite well, maintaining Premier League survival. Yeovil missing out on Europe on goal difference, unfortunately, to Tottenham. They did have much worse goal difference, though, so it is what it is. And they had 30 goals from Yeovil forward. What's the defence saying? Not a lot, but it's saying 57 conceded, worst in the top half, other than Southend. You can tell the teams have got an amazing forward, can't you? They've all got an amazing forward, got sod all goal difference because their defence is crap. Right, 2041, we've got a few more years to go before we do the big sim of 10 years just to see who maintained what, where, how, why. 2042. And just a quick check in on the Championship. We've got Maidstone and Maidenhead in the playoff final. Go on one of those two teams. Maidstone. Let's get Maidstone in the Premier League for the final run because they won the FA Cup. I'm bloody buzzing at that. Chesterfield have got promoted automatically. And we've got 2-time champions Woking, who lost to Oldham on the final day. Liverpool won, but they'd already done enough. They were already champions. 2-time champions Woking. Southend getting Europa League football. Yeovil getting Conference League football. 6 teams getting in the Champions League. Did Tottenham win the Europa League? I mean, they've won 3 in this experiment. They bloody have won it as well. Tottenham have won the Europa League. Woking coming runner-up in the Europa League to Newcastle. We saw that. They've come runner-up to Monaco as well. Southampton have won the Conference League. Man City, United, Chelsea. Hang about. Sorry, I've just had a quick check of the Champions League. And apparently last season, Woking won the bugger. 2040-41, Woking beat PSG. Arsenal have won 5 in 6 years. Who put 50p in Arsenal? Mikel Arteta, clearly, still rocking and rolling. Right, Joey McAnuff has won a Champions League for Woking. And they beat PSG in the final 2-1. Neither of their players who scored were Matey Boy. Woking forward. They've got some good players, though. They've got some very good players. We've got quite a bit of European football happening next season. Leeds getting relegated, but they've won the Conference League, it looks like. So they've got Europa League football. Won a couple of Europa Leagues in this experiment as well. Conference League, yeah, 2042. They've just won the Conference League. Bromley getting relegated and Halifax. Oh, Bromley getting battered. Go another year. Well, Maidenhead obviously won the playoffs last year, and it's Maidstone who've gone up this year via the playoffs 2-0. Leeds getting re-promoted, as have Bromley. They got relegated, didn't they? Yeah. And Chelsea have won the league this season with Tottenham in 2nd, Woking in 3rd, Gateshead getting Champions League football in 5th, Yeovil getting Europa League football in 7th, 74-time Champions League winners Arsenal finishing in 8th, and Mikel Arteta, I mean, honestly, Woking have just won the Champions League again. Right, we're going to go back to Arsenal in a minute. Woking have won the Champions League again after extra time. Matthias Ladega. What a Ladega. 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 That's all you're getting. Woking forward also scored. Don't know why I'm looking at his profile like I'm going to see some weird attribute breakdown. Arsenal, sorry. Right, they've had a bad season. Sacked after 22 years, 310 days. on the 25th of the 10th. 25th of the 10th. I'm not letting this go. 25th of the 10th. Past positions. Arsenal. Lost to Chesterfield. They were in 15th. Okay? 11 games in, they were in 15th. Yes, alright, that's rubbish. But for God's sake, how many Premier Leagues has he won in the last 20 years? Oh, only 3. Lots of second places, but he's won 5 Champions Leagues. I've had enough of that. That's annoyed me. Not even given the time of day. Anyway, Woking have won the Champions League for the second time. Juve won the Europa League. And the Conference League was won by Yeovil. Go on, Yeovil, lads. 3-0 against Reims. Yeovil forward with the goal, with one of the goals. And we are back in the Premier League in 2044. Woking have won it for the 3rd time in 4 years. The only team to ever really do anything in the experiment. Yeovil, though, getting Champions League football, finishing in 7th. They've clearly won the Europa League. Wrexham, were they in the Conference League? What have they won? Wrexham just won the FA Cup. Wrexham have just won an FA Cup. It's all kicking off. Wrexham beating Scunthorpe in the FA Cup final. Woking have won 2 FA Cups as well. And Maidstone. Oh, we saw Maidstone. Woking have done absolutely the best. 2 Carabao Cups, 2 FA Cups, 2 UEFA Super Cups, we don't really care. 3 Premier Leagues and 2 Champions Leagues. So Woking are the team of the experiment. We've still got 1 more year to go. But Yeovil have won the Europa Conference League in 2043. They won the Europa League in 2044. Can they win the Champions League in 2045? That'd be nice to see, wouldn't it? But yeah, Woking have done hands down the best. 3 Vanarama National League teams going down, unfortunately. Notts County coming up, though, for this final season. So we will go through 1 more year. Let's go and see. It's another Premier League win. Woking winning the league. Gateshead in 2nd. Europa League qualification for Yeovil in 6th. Champions League for Liverpool in 7th. Conference League for Wrexham in 8th. United getting relegated with Leeds and Scunthorpe. Man City getting deducted 9 points for entering administration. 36 points and they finished 14th. That seems a very low points total in the Premier League to be getting relegated with. Sorry, to be avoiding relegation and by so many places. Kind of strange, but United have gone down. 4 wins for Woking. Let's have a quick look over the Carabao Cup, and it was Woking who won against Arsenal. Woking beating Wrexham the season before and Yeovil 4 years ago. The FA Cup was won by Yeovil beating Arsenal. Wrexham the season before beating Scunthorpe, as we saw. The Conference League this season was won by Atalanta. Liverpool the Europa League, and the Champions League once again by Woking. 3-2 winners against Chelsea, and it was Woking forward with a brace and Kevin Meikle scoring as well. Okay, that's the end of the experiment, but wait, there is more. There is a tiny little bit more. Let's have a quick look at the England sort of cap breakdown. So Eastleigh forward was the most capped. Woking forward got 86 in 98. So he did very well. In terms of England, we've got Neil Harris, who's now in charge of England. The managers, yeah, is what it is. In terms of the World Cups, 5 Euros, 3 World Cups, so they've won 5 Euros in a row. Is what it is. Let's have a quick look at Football of the Year. And it's all about Woking forward, isn't it? Woking forward has won Football of the Year. The Golden Ball, once again, Woking forward's the only one who's ever done it. The only one that's ever done it. Mustafa Kone's won as well. But yeah, Woking forward is the one of all the forwards to have won. Well, that's really getting in the top 3. That's obviously because Woking were just doing well and they had the reputation. Oldham forward and Yeovil forward did win Player of the Year. But that's it. So it's been the Woking forward. Right, a quick look through at the end just to see who has done anything in the next 10 years. So we're 10 years in, and the lay of the land is as such. Woking finishing 3rd, getting Champions League football. Southend are still up there. Notts County, Yeovil getting Champions League football. Must have won the Europa League. Fantastic. Gateshead, Wrexham, Man United are back. Chesterfield, yeah, Altrincham are down there. So we've actually had Woking winning the league in 2051-52. Coming runner-up a couple of times and 3rd. So Woking are still there or thereabouts. Which is always going to be the case. They've lost one key player. One key player is what it is, isn't it? In terms of Carabao Cups, they've won a couple more Carabao Cups since that. Yeovil also won, so 3 more for Woking, 1 for Yeovil. Southend coming runner up a bit. FA Cups, Woking again, still going on a tear, taking home the trophies. In terms of Champions Leagues, Woking 3 years ago did win the Champions League. They've actually come runner up 3 times as well since their superstar player left. Yeovil just won the Europa League, coming run up the season before to Man City, coming run up to Inter as well. So Yeovil are the second team of this. Woking in 2046-47 winning the Europa League. They must have fallen down the league a bit and got themselves into the Conference League maybe and won that, and then they got into the Europa League and then won that. They didn't win the Conference League. Wrexham did though, so they must have qualified for the Europa League via the league. Yeovil have won another Conference League as well. That's it. That's the end of today's experiment. I'm going to just jump back to the Premier Division and just, there we go. That is the lay of the land. That is the landscape of what we are currently working with in the Premier League. And I hope you've had a good time, because I've had a great time filming this one. I thought this was a lot of fun. So any ideas you got for other things in this sort of similar vein, please do let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this one, please do drop a like on it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and go and watch something else on there. A lot of good stuff, a lot of fun stuff. But take good care of yourselves, most importantly. I'll see you soon.